draw a picture for you. Uh, put a picture in your mind. 1975. All right. The intellectual, the little intellectual, was 5 years old, and in his living room sat his mother and his father, listening to an album, vinyl, and they were listening. I didn't know who it was that they were listening to. All right. I wasn't paying too much attention to the person they were listening to more than I was paying attention to the album cover. The album cover had a picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on it. All right. He had his fez on his crown with the stars and the crescents and the suns and all this. And I later found out that the person who was speaking was Minister Louis Farrakhan. Right? Young Minister Farrakhan. I mean, he's still relatively very young at that time. And, they were engulfed in the speech of Minister Farrakhan. And I couldn't help but to stare at the back of the album cover, the picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger. And I kept looking deep into his face, looking at his crown. I kept taking in his picture. A 5-year-old now. I was like fascinated by him. I didn't know what it was that he was teaching, who he was, or nothing, but I was just drawn to that picture. And that fascination, that mental attraction has not left me. So much so that I consider the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, even in this day and time, even in the new millennium, a mentor of mine, just as I consider Dr. Malachi Z. York a mentor of mine. Both of these men made a heavy impression on me. Both of these men set a foundation for me in which I was able to, and I'm able to in this day and time, move forward on. They laid the foundation for what I'm doing today in the state of Mentel. Though a lot of the messenger's followers today don't see that. I mean, I'm not very well known, but, when I post things, when I put this broadcast up, I got a little bit of flack. People didn't see because, a lot of the people that are still in the Nation of Islam, they, mostly younger guys, they thought that I was, I was taking liberties with speaking on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad like that. But I told one brother, I said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad does not belong to the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad belongs to the black nation as a whole. And if this man, me paying homage to this man, one who I consider to be a mentor, one who I consider to be an inspiration, who I refer to as the first Brightman to come to the black race, if that bothers you, then oh well. Oh well. I will never say anything disrespectful about this man because I have nothing but respect for him. We're going to talk about that tonight because I'm paying homage to this great man, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mentel Radio. And tonight, the first bright man, the honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. When I put that he was the first bright man, a lot of people took issue with that, like I said on Facebook. They said things like, what about Garvey? What about Marcus Garvey? What about Noble Drew Ali? And the people that came before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I said my response to them was that these were great men, without a shadow of a doubt. Garvey was a great man. Noble Drew Ali, though I didn't study much up on him, I know he stood for the Moorish thing, the Moorish science, and, like I said, I consider them to be forerunners. You understand? But what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did, though he was influenced by these people, though you can find pictures of him wearing the Moorish fez, and, though a lot of people in the Nation of Islam will dispute whether he followed Noble Drew Ali at one time or that Master Fard Muhammad, who I'll speak about in a minute, followed Noble Drew Ali, that's up for debate. People say they have pictures, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a fez on his head with a star and crescent on it. So, that is, like I said, that is possible. Still doesn't take away from what he did later on. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, as he took the fez off, the long fez with the tassel, and his fez got shorter. And these fezes, the fez changes, it came to me that these fez, the change in fez, the change in the look, the structure, and everything else represented a new chapter in the evolution of our people. That he actually was setting a pace in the future. This is what made the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stand out to me. I didn't realize it at the time when I was 5 years old, and why he still stands out above people right now. Like I said, I'm not taking anything from Noble Drew Ali. I'm not taking anything from Marcus Garvey. He stood up for the African, Pan-African thing, going back to Africa, which is a beautiful thing, and he had a lot of followers. Same thing with Noble Drew Ali. He stood up with the Moorish thing. However, why I refer to them as forerunners is because both ideas were rooted in the past and present. What do I mean by that? What I mean is us returning back to Africa, and referring to ourselves as Africans would be considered a past move had we had done that, going back to that continent, or so-called continent that the white man referred to it as. When you had people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying the whole planet belonged to us. It's true. As the creators, as the people who are linked to God, the whole planet belongs to us. Right? You had, for us to go into Africa and section ourselves off and allow ourselves to be marginalized off, when you see today a lot of chaos in Africa. A lot of people are dying off in Africa. You see where you got African leaders who really are not in charge of their own countries. They're puppets. Right? He didn't advocate us going back to Africa. Wherever we were at, he set up mosques and, different cities, different states, even different countries after a while. Like satellite groups, like a real nation, and Chicago would have been considered the headquarters of that nation. That was a future thought. That was an advanced thought, rather than to marginalize ourselves into one section where it would be easy for our people to get wiped out. And you see today the destruction of Africa. You see it. You see the starvation there. You see, like I said, you see governments there that are just puppet governments. So when this failed, when our people did not return back to Africa, this was a future move. It was a sign that our people were not supposed to return to that continent. Somebody said to me on Facebook, well, brother, should we just let the white man have Africa? I said, hell, he got Africa. What are you talking about? Let him have it. What are you talking about? He got Africa. You understand? He got it. Just because you see a whole bunch of black people there, don't think it's their land. He got it. The white man, the East Indians, they got it. They put the technology in there. They building up stuff there, so that they can have access to the resources. They bring the so-called technology in there so that they can have access to the resources now, and that's happening. Hell, that's done. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad saw beyond that in his scope. I said that what stood out from him among other people was that he was dealing with future intelligence, advanced ways of thinking, looking forward, which is how our people are supposed to be focused naturally. A lot of forerunners like Garvey and like Noble Drew Ali were only focused on past and present things. Noble Drew Ali was focused on Moorish rights and, our rights here as citizens and, claim to land and documents and treaties and whatnot, and linking it back to the Moorish empire, which was a good thing. It was all work to get for the advancement of our people. However, the best move that we would have made was to move forward. not to sit around and wait on reparations or treaties and documents. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, do for self. Clean the black man up. Gave him a future way of looking at things, a future way of life. That's what resonated. Like I said, when he changed fezzes, when he took the Moorish fez off, and he put on the short fez with the stars and the crescent that nobody has ever seen before. I've never seen anybody wearing anything like that, where he amped it up. What that meant, and what a lot of his people didn't understand, what that meant, that right there was an evolution in the Nation of Islam. The teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad evolved from the Moorish look in the fez. That was a big jump, because he was no longer talking about Islam and the Quran and things like. He was talking about universal knowledge. That's why if you look at his fezzes and crowns, they look like the universe. You see stars, suns, moons, all of that was dealing with universal knowledge, intelligence, higher intelligence. And each one of those symbols on his fez represented light. And what does light represent? Intelligence. Right? That's what that represented. You have to be able to light up. You have to represent light. He put light on his head. He put light on his head. He didn't just put a star and a crescent. He put greater lights on his head as a symbol. Same way the ancient Egyptians showed pictures of themselves with suns over their heads. You understand that? Intelligence. I refer to him as the bright man because he was an intelligent man. Intelligent, not educated, not conscious, but intelligent. One who had natural intelligence, one who had natural smarts, common sense, common intelligence, or should I say chosen sense. Now, like I said, we don't say common sense in the state of mental. We say chosen because it's reality that the majority of our people don't have common sense, or senses, higher senses is not a common thing amongst our people. A lot of our people have no common sense whatsoever. They've been educated and they've been made conscious. So in other words, what that means is they allow the white man to do their thinking for them. But here's a man who was thinking on his own. And that's something that's discouraged in this society when you are able to be an independent thinker. That's not something that's championed, especially amongst black men in this society. Right? It's not championed. But here was this little black man from Georgia, 3rd, 4th grade education. If you listen to a lot of his speeches, he wasn't very articulate. Because a lot of Negroes, when our people are not well spoken like that, they tend to shun off anything, the message that the person is saying, rather than to listen to what the person's saying. You can come to a lot of our people, and as long as you well spoken, you could con the hell out of them. You understand that? You can con the hell out of them. That was the appeal with Malcolm X. You understand? A lot of our people liked how Malcolm X looked. They got personality driven. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was smart enough. He was smart enough to put Malcolm X in that position because he knew that's what our people wanted to see. He didn't care how the message got out. He knew that man was still representing him. That's intelligence. Malcolm X was conscious. He wasn't intelligent. He was conscious. He wasn't educated. He didn't get educated, by the way, but he was conscious. And I would say he was somewhat educated. He was a reader. So he was somewhat educated, not in the traditional sense of universities and things like that, but he was well-spoken or very articulate. But he wasn't very intelligent. Because intelligence would tell you not to buck against a leader who is becoming as powerful or who was as powerful as this man and what he was laying down. A lot of people marvel. They marvel at the speeches that Malcolm X made, but what they don't understand was that was the message of Elijah Muhammad coming out of his mouth. Now let's go back a little bit, because there's something else people took issue with. And when I put on Facebook, because I was the first one to post this on Facebook, when I said that Fard Muhammad, who was, for those of you who don't know who Master Fard Muhammad was, Master Fard Muhammad, according to Nation of Islam teaching, was God in person, or God or Allah. right? And he was a mulatto who came from Mecca, according to the story, born 1877, and he taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and for 3.5 years, and then he left. He helped set up the structure of the nation. He set up the structure of the Nation of Islam, taught everybody everything they need to know, and that was it. He left. That's the official story. Cool, that's fine. However, what I said was, and like I said, I'm not in the Nation of Islam, so I don't have to, follow their beliefs and their doctrines. But from seeing and using intelligence and common sense and just thinking, something that a lot of people have a serious problem with doing. They can't think without on their own without the assistance of someone else, aka the white man or whoever. But I said that according to the definition of messenger and God in person, I said that Fard Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teacher, was actually the messenger. And I said Elijah was God in person. Now, that, a lot of people, when I posted in the Supreme Beings group, a lot of people was like, oh, brother, you don't know what you're talking about, brother. That's not in the doctrine. I said, I'm not a follower of your doctrine. I can think. You understand? I can think. I can think on my own. I don't have to follow what was written down, and placated. I don't have to placate to your doctrine. I can think, and based on the description of messenger, one who brings a message and leaves, and God, who is omnipresent and omnipotent, and who stays, who's always seen, always there, that would be Fard as the messenger. Because what did he do? He brought the message that the black man was God, and then he left. That was it. The only reason people even know about Fard Muhammad is because Elijah Muhammad kept his name alive. You understand? He kept his name alive. He was paying homage to him. But had it not been for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad keeping Fard's name alive, you wouldn't know who that was. A lot of people still don't know who that is, except for members in the Nation of Islam and people who've been associated with the NOI. But when you hear Nation of Islam, you think now Minister Farrakhan, but the face of it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he was around for 40 years teaching. He was omnipresent, always there, very powerful man. You understand? Fard, left like a messenger. Came 3.5 years, the black man's God, goodbye. That was it. That was his part in the evolution. That was the part that he played in the evolution of our people. God don't go nowhere. God stays. Messengers come and go. Messengers come, drop off a message, and leave. Nobody know what happened to this man. He just disappeared. I said that Fard and Elijah were part of a bigger plan. They were part of a bigger plan that played in the evolution of our people. They were given a message to move our people forward. They were part of the evolution. No message belongs to either one of these men. Doesn't belong to Fard, doesn't belong to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These were men who were being utilized, or used as instruments. Messages came through them, not from them. You understand that? Came through them. But, you can't explain that to people who are personality driven. It would not have been successful. The Nation of Islam would not have been successful unless they were receiving higher knowledge, higher intelligence from on high, from God. Now they'll say, oh, well, brother, this is like you painting a mystery and this is some spookism and whatnot. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I'll tell you who God is. God, factually, is the children that you are raising for the future. Just as the past exists, just as the present exists, the future exists. And in the future, our children are gods. They are the God race, our children. Us, our genetic, our DNA. We are the evolution moving toward them. And they are controlling everything on the planet. They control Fard. They control the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They're the ones that made or put the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in that position of where he was, not Fard. Because at the time, Fard had a guy with him named Ugan Ali. Elijah Muhammad was just a little helper in the mosque at that time. He wasn't anybody special. It was a guy by the name of Ugan Ali. But then, obviously, circumstances happened where this guy Ugan Ali left and he stopped going, and Fard ended up leaving and things like that. So these were things that were taking place that were beyond these men's control. What was working in what was working toward this evolution to put this little man in position? Because I said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the chosen one. He was chosen before his birth. It was already predestined that he would be the leader. Fard came to America to find Elijah and put him in the position that he was in, obviously. That was really his job. Yeah, because like I said, the majority of the people back then in Detroit, when they knew Fard, but like I said, it wasn't like a big thing. The nation, you might have like a few thousand people, but a lot of those people by 10, 15, 20 years, a lot of them people 20 years in, 30 years in, a lot of them people died off, and you had a new generation of people. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was firmly in charge. He went through an evolution. He was dealing with future intelligence. He was looking to the future for his nation. That's what set him apart from everybody else. Everybody else was dealing with past and present. He was dealing with future intelligence, advanced thinking. You understand that? Doesn't matter whether Fard put it in his head or got to him. It was meant to go to him from birth. Nothing just happens by coincidence. Nothing just happens by chance. Everything was laid out that way. You understand? It was laid out that Fard would come, drop the message, and leave. He woke the black God up. He woke up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He turned on the light in that man's head. He gave him the message, would click the light on in his head. But that message was also passed to him. You understand that? Didn't come from him, but like I said, a lot of our people are personality driven. They want to believe that man carries all things come from man. They want to believe that technology comes from man. Advanced ideas for the future. No, you got a philosophy that can come from a man, a personal philosophy. But when you're dealing with future intelligence, advanced ways of thinking, that's from on high. That's from the future coming into the present. It's not nothing spooky. It ain't nothing spiritual or unseen. No, this is the children of the future, the ascension. They send the messages into this day. They have always been the ones controlling the present and the past. They have always been the ones who resonated in each stage of time as advanced beings. The gods that they talked about in Egypt, Samaria, seeing God walking in the Bible, that was future beings. That was our children. That was our genetic walking. What does God really mean? God is one who is more advanced than man. And how is he able to be more advanced than woman and man in this present day? He has to be futuristically, his mindset has to be based in the future. He has to be more advanced mentally. How is he able to be more advanced mentally than man? Because he resonates as a future being, always moving in the future. I hope I'm not going too fast for people. I know a lot of people are slow. I'm not saying my listeners, but I know people who might tune in, they might be slow. So I'm going to say this one more time. The future is what dictates the past and the present, the future. You have men, however, who are stuck in people in past, in present, who try to hold back the future. Anything that comes from man, i.e. technology, that's going to benefit people in the future is advanced thinking. That comes from a higher force. That comes from a higher mind. That comes from our children who are the God race. This is nothing spooky. You exist even before you get here in this realm. You exist. Before your birth, you exist in the mental state, in the light state. You understand that? You exist. There's never no time where you don't exist. You understand that? There's never a time where you don't exist. And there's never a time where you will pass. There'll be always a time where you're moving forward. Now, the Nation of Islam used to say, oh, well, brother, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that Fard was God, and he was God in person and things like that, and how you going to twist what he said? I said, well, let's be for real here. All white people to black people back then were revered and worshipped and looked up to as God. You know why? Because for the last 300-400 years or more, you had white Jesus over your goddamn heads. That's why when you look, a lot of you black men, when you look at the white man, even a lot of you still do today, it's still with you. When you look at the white man today, you worship him as God. Even when you calling him the devil, you still worship him as God. Because you're saying that this man has the power to stand in the way of you becoming a God or becoming that advanced being, from tapping into your potential. That's why I told my people in the state of Mentel, do not call a white man the devil. He is not a devil, nor is he a God to you. You understand that? He is not a devil nor a God to you. No one stands in the way of your evolution if you really want to move forward. There are no excuses. You understand that? There are no excuses. And at a certain point in time, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying that. He said there's no excuses at a certain point in time. He said, he was saying, stop, referring to the white man as the devil and all this stuff. He was trying to move that in that evolutionary knowledge. You understand? He was trying to move on that line of evolution. You understand? He said, nobody's holding you back. You understand that? And this is definitely a message our people need in this day and time. His messages were futuristic. You understand? For its time, it was futuristic. And it still applies today, a lot of it. You understand? A lot of it still applies today. Though a lot of his people are still stuck in the religious side of it. He was going beyond that. You understand that? A lot of black people, like I said, they worshiped that image of the white man because it was you were so used to having it programmed in your head through the whole Jesus Christ thing. That's why we had, that's why when he saw the white man coming and, the whole idea of this man who looks like a white man, but, he's a mulatto and then, but he's God in person and he's teaching all this knowledge that he probably never was privy to before. He wasn't privy to. He's like, oh, man, this is God in person. Because after a while, the story changed over time that he was no longer God in person, but, he was in God, but he was God. God came in his person. It changed over time. But like I said, if you see the bigger picture, you see that ultimately it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad who stayed behind for 40 years and ran the Nation of Islam and brought it up through the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s all the way up into the 70s. 40 years of evolution brought by this man. Like I said, Fard came and he left. He came and left. He didn't stay. That's what messengers do. He came and left. God is omnipresent and omnipotent. He stays all the time. God goes nowhere. Messengers come and go. God come deliver a message to you on a bike and he go. That's a messenger. Fard came, stayed 3.5 years toward Elijah Muhammad and left. You understand that? That was dealing with future intelligence. That man was chosen. That was God in person. Something always has to happen in a person's life to change their life. Something you come in contact with, something that just something inspires a thought in your head. What controls that? Who controls these thoughts that these inspirations in your head to get inspired to do what you do? Fard was the instrument to bring out the God in Elijah. I'm going to say it again. Fard was the instrument to bring out the God in Elijah. But the message did not belong to neither one of them. That was from our children, the God race. Because even Minister Farrakhan said, I think, I'm trying to remember, I don't want to quote verbatim. I know he was talking about, it was a message he had at one point, talking about raising gods in your children, raising up the gods. So that plays along in what I'm saying, that your children are the gods from the past that they talked about in the Bible and the Quran and all. That was your children from the future. They are those advanced beings. Like I said, if it's going too fast, I'm going to try to slow this down. Those are the advanced beings. Your children are the God race. They are the advanced beings, who I refer to as the almond beings. You understand that? They transmitted intelligence into the minds of these people. You understand? Now, to a lot of people, oh, that's a bunch of BS, brother. Where you getting that from, brother? That ain't what's said in the doctrine. That ain't what's said in the doctrine. No, I'm trying to ask you to think a little bit. I already know that'll be the mentality of people who, like I said, who are not thinkers. I mean, I know that the mentality of non-thinkers. Because if you tell them anything that they mind is locked into persons, their mind is locked into past and the present. They're not thinkers. They're believers. They're followers. They're believers. You understand? They don't think beyond what's given to them. You understand? A lot of our people are unable to think and use their head. And what you didn't understand, like I said, as time went on, you saw the evolution in thought of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You saw his thoughts changing. Now, no man can dictate the changing of thoughts. Elijah Muhammad was sparked by this message of Fard that came through Fard. He was sparked. And it made him, like I said, obviously this man was chosen because you can't take a man, any kind of man, who's not intelligent or who doesn't house an intelligence and have him run a thing like that. What made this man, what qualified this man to run this thing, this nation for 40 years? What qualified him? He had to obviously have some form of natural intelligence, advanced way of thinking. He obviously had to have it. But his own people don't give him the credit. Unfortunately, a lot of his people don't even give him the credit. They'll give it to Fard, who came 3.5 years and left. You can teach a person a doctrine and a belief or whatever, but that's not going to have a person be able to sustain something like that. That takes intelligence. You understand that? That takes intelligence. That takes a thinker. He was predestined for that job. You had plenty of guys around at that time. I'm pretty sure you had plenty of guys around at that time who were thinkers, who were probably more well spoken in the messenger and things like that. But it was already in the sand. It was already written that this man would be the one to lead this nation. That man, that bright man, that intelligent man. Because when I refer to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the bright man, I'm speaking about the intelligent man, the solar intelligent being. That's why he put the sun, moon, and star. These things were dealing with light, a.k.a. intelligence, being able to see in the darkness. Because the darkness represents ignorance. The light represents intelligence. What was that light? Solar light. Solar messages, advanced ways of thinking. This is beyond your doctrine. I see that man. I see him. But like I said, a lot of people, they think that they own the image and the person, Elijah Muhammad, and you don't. A lot of people, what this brother talking about? Ain't the doctrine. Man, we don't give a damn what you talking about. You understand that? You keep him framed in that little box of Islam that you think that's where he was at, when he was obviously going somewhere else. That a lot of our people couldn't even see it. They couldn't see where he was going. They couldn't see the intelligence. They couldn't see that it was beyond Islam. You understand that? They couldn't see that it was bigger than Islam. This was dealing with future intelligence, the advancement of our people. He was creating intelligent people. What was the first thing he said? He said our people are mentally dead. So if our people are mentally dead, then something has to spark them mentally to wake them up. Just because you called it Islam. And I even had debate with that. People said, oh, brother, the messenger was teaching Islam. Well, according to the Arabs and what they call Islam, no, he wasn't. That's fine. He wasn't following the old ways. Like I said, the Arabs are caught in the past. That's why they weren't accepting the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They was caught in the past. They stuck on some Muhammad, some white guy, or mulatto, whatever the hell he was, for 1,400 years ago. They stuck on him. They wasn't acknowledging Elijah Muhammad. Hell, you had blacks who were following the Arabs, who had their heads up the Arabs' asses, who was crapping on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You understand? You had them. These guys was a bunch of toms for the Arabs. Oh, he ain't no messenger. There's only one messenger, the Prophet Muhammad. And you niggas never even met no Prophet Muhammad. You don't know no Prophet Muhammad. You know what he did for a bunch of Arabs in the desert. That's all you know. And some things people said about him. But this man was actually here doing work to advance our people. This man was putting in the work. This man was cleaning up black people off of drugs. Black women cleaning up their mentality, cleaning up heroin addicts, cleaning up black women who was prostituting themselves. This man was doing that. You understand? Gave them a better tomorrow. Hell, so strong, the message so strong that it inspired me, a 5-year-old. You understand? That potential there. Don't say that message is Fard's message. It's not his message. That message was that message was dictated to him. He was a vessel. That's all Fard was. He was a vessel. You understand? Because if you want to get technical about it, a lot of the stuff that they was teaching was masonry. And masonry is copied from what? Ancient Egypt. The foundation of masonry is ancient Egypt. Right? The pyramids, all that. Right? They taught in Egypt that the black man was God. Hell, you go to ancient Egypt, you see God statues of men and women all over the damn place. You know what I mean? Nitiru. They taught that back then. So this is actually a continuous line of higher intelligence that came through these men, not from them. But like I said, to you Negroes who personality driven, what you trying to do? You trying to jog off the messenger's message, and you trying to use the messenger's message and blah 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 blah. No. There's no messenger's message. Nothing belongs to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Nothing belonged to Fard. They were instruments. Same thing I say with Dr. Malachi Z. York. Same thing I say with myself. Nothing belongs to us. Dr. York even said, he's like, I'm a receiver. I said the same thing. I'm a receiver. Fard was a receiver. Elijah became a receiver to future intelligence, to higher intelligence. It's not nothing spooky. Like I said, those people, a lot of these people who are mentally dead, they can't understand that because they're not receiving anything. These are your educated people and your conscious people. So when you talk about advanced intelligence and future intelligence and receiving higher intelligence via higher knowledge from the future, this frazzles these Negroes' minds. They act like they don't get it. They'll even get mad at you and be like, "Oh, brother, what you trying to do?" I ain't said nothing negative about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, nor did I say anything about Fard. But these Negroes will get mad because I'm not spitting out stuff they used to hearing in their doctrine. These Negroes will get mad. Where you getting this? Like they own Elijah Muhammad or Fard Muhammad. These people were just instruments toward our evolution as a new people. Just as I'm an instrument, just like Dr. Malachi Z. York was instruments. Nothing belongs to any of us. Now you got Negroes out here who are teaching their own philosophy out here. You got a lot of Negroes doing that. But their philosophy is based on past and present. You conscious Negroes, y'all teaching about Egypt still, and you still talking about Africa. That's you trying to formulate it into the present, which is really not working. You understand? Or a Moorish thing, y'all trying to formulate it into the present, which is not working. None of y'all are dealing with future intelligence because you're not receiving future intelligence. You're not tuned in to receive it. You want this stuff that's here right now because you're not, like I said, you can't pull in future intelligence. Your mind is not set for that because you made your mind up already. You made your mind up. This is Islam. I'm studying this. This is the doctrine. That's it. And yet the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all he did was focus on the future. He was like, I don't want y'all teaching. I heard something. He said, I don't want y'all people teaching exactly. He kept talking about the future, the future, the future. The future. His mind was always set on the future. Any man that'll put the damn universe on his head, obviously he's thinking about the future. He ain't stop at no star and crescent, no tall fez. He put the damn universe on his head. That's how deep the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was. You understand? That's how deep a thinker. Like I said, a lot of his people don't give him credit. His own people. They'd rather give it to somebody. Because you talking about spook God. Well, we don't worship no spook God, brother. We don't worship no mystery God. Fard is a mystery. Excuse me, Fard is a mystery. You don't know nothing about him, except for what people told you. You don't know nothing about him. You know, that's a mystery. Oh, his father was a black man. His mother was a white woman, and they found her in the caves in the caves in 1877. He couldn't go get a white woman from any city. People was living in the caves in 1877, but whatever. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to mess with your little. I'm not going to mess with that. The theology, whatever. But I'm saying that whole thing is shrouded in mystery about this man. Hell, you knew Elijah Muhammad. You knew him. Y'all say y'all don't want to worship a mystery God. It's a mystery. Hell, Elijah ain't no mystery. You knew his mother, and you seen a picture of his mother and father. You ain't seen no picture of mother and father. You understand? Hell, there's still discrepancies about what picture is real and what picture ain't. Who painted what? Who made up what? That's still going on. So that's mystery. But yet you claim you don't worship a mystery God. That's not true. Like I said, I'm just merely paying homage to this great man. I love the messenger. Like I said, he was the foundation to receiving bright intelligence, higher intelligence. The first man, the first bright man of the last millennium. And he's still shining. People have a problem, like I said, because they're personality driven. You understand? People are personality driven. They're looking at the man. They want to attach the message to the man. They don't see that the message is bigger than the man. The message is always bigger. You understand? The message is always supposed to be bigger than the man. Now, it ain't about Elijah Muhammad. It's about the evolution of our people. These men were just instruments. And what is the word instrument short for? Instrumental. These men were instrumental in carrying the message of our people, the evolution, and the message will continue. These men were bringing bright knowledge, not Islam. We'll talk about that when we come back. This man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was carrying a message not from Fard Muhammad. He carried a message from the God race, from our children. He carried a future message that was sent through these people, via these people, from a God race, our children. You're supposed to be raising gods. You understand that? Master Fard Muhammad was like a signpost, one who pointed God in the right direction by giving him a message. He is, or was, the thing that fate or is used to enter a person's life, to change a person's life forever. You understand that? And like I said, I'm not disrespecting Fard Muhammad. I'm not disrespecting him. I'm not trying to lessen his role in what he did. But let's be real about what his role was, especially in this day and time where we are raising up the image of, we're supposed to be raising up the image of the so-called black man and black woman, because it's at an all-time low. You understand that? When you're talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, understand, or should we say ultrastand, how we say in the state of Mentel, ultrastand who this great man was. When I tell my son or my daughter, or I keep these people's names alive, like I keep my father's name, or I keep everybody's name alive, these great men, I let them know that y'all brought him here. You gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the message from the future into the present. Now, like I said, I'm known to a lot of Negroes who simple-minded. That sounds crazy. Or what are you getting this spookism from, brother? But like I said, you're not generating any images in your head. You don't have any imagination. You don't generate anything. Technology, everything that comes, all future intelligence comes from the future. All things that exist in the future come from the future. It is sent telepathically to the mind of those people who are in tune. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was in tune. What brought him in tune? What he was seeing going on with his people and how he wanted things to change. That's the beginning. How you want things to change, to think that it is possible to bring a change. That is the first sign that you are coming in tune with something, that you even fathom the idea of a change. Because you got a lot of Negroes, they don't fathom the idea of change. They'll just go along with how things are and, just keep on living till they die. Like Negroes did in slavery. You understand? That it took somebody who wanted things to change, like your Harriet Tubmans, your Nat Turner, whatever, all the people that escaped, they wanted things to change. So therefore, that idea was sparked in their head, and a lot of them escaped, and they left, and they made it. And when you had Negroes who didn't get that idea in their head, they stayed on the plantation because that was everyday life to them. Same thing, what made him or differentiated him, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, from his contemporaries. You understand that? Because he wanted things to change. When you decide that you want things to change, means that you're looking into the future. That's step one. That's step one. So he had to be put in a position. He was chosen to be put in that position of change. You understand? He was put in that position. It was decided before he was even born. In fact, I remember reading a story on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad where one of the books where it said it was supposed to so-called Rise and Fall of Elijah Muhammad. Some Sambo Coon Negro wrote the damn book where he was just basically he was trying to chastise Elijah Muhammad in a lot of ways because he wanted to talk about the women and everything else, all that nonsense. But in a way, he wasn't really, you can't really say anything bad about Elijah Muhammad, even though this nigga tried to. But, he talked about how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's mother, Mariah, as a little girl, had a vision. Somebody told her that she would give birth to a child, a son, who would change the lives of black people forever, something like along those lines. That you would give birth to a very important child. Now, who put the message in that person's head that told her that? That person didn't say nothing about Fard Muhammad. They talked about Elijah. You understand? Elijah. They talked about him. You understand that? So the object was always him. Wasn't nobody else. It was him. He was God in person. He was the Almighty when he walked the planet. He was the future thinker, the advanced thinker. Fard just carried the message to him and sparked it. That was his job. Both were very important, but we have to understand who God is, because God runs in a bloodline. You understand? God runs in a bloodline. He taught that the black man was God. That says it all. The black man is God. So then that means Elijah was God. He was a so-called black man. So the black man is God. There you have it. But people have a problem with that. You know why? They still want to make Fard God. You understand? They want to talk about him being mulatto and all this other stuff. And even according to your story, if you say that his father sent him there, according to your story, sent him to America to rescue his uncle, or whatever, how the story goes, his uncle, right? Then that still would make him a messenger, because he was sent by his father, a black man. Right? But a lot of people, like I said, that's over a lot of people's heads who've been studying the doctrine. But this is future thought. See, in the future, we're thinkers here. We're not believers. We don't follow a doctrine. We're thinkers here. We are able to acknowledge the importance of a great man like this, even though a lot of you, unfortunately, are not. Because a lot of you still want to worship the white man or the image of the white man, unfortunately. A lot of you still want to do that. A lot of you didn't change anything. And I'll say it just how it is. I don't bite my tongue. A lot of y'all haven't changed from white Jesus to Fard. A lot of y'all haven't changed. Y'all just still got to worship the image of the white man in some way, shape, or form. You can't even sit up here and acknowledge a great man like this. That was God in person. You had God with you. Yeah, for 40 years. Standing strong, powerful, omnipresent, omnipotent, with the fruit of Islam, those strong brothers around him, those sisters, those great, beautiful sisters around him. That was God right there. You understand? That was God there. He stayed and did the job. Straight up. God don't go nowhere. Messengers leave, come and go, like I said. But God stays and does the job. But like I said, when you think outside the box, you think outside the whole Islam thing in the box, people got a problem with that, especially when they've been calling themselves Muslim for years. But sometimes it takes people who are not even in the box with you to see things much clearer than you. Just because a lot of you guys might have walked with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was by him, or whatever the case may be, don't mean you knew him or understood that man. Here it is, never met the man. You understand? But I'm able to look clearly into what he was doing and who he was. That's a attribute of a future thinker, one who sees the bigger picture. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was definitely that type of person. He saw the bigger picture. That's why he told Malcolm X, don't say the thing about Kennedy. Don't say that about Kennedy, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't no Tom Moore where he was a sucker, he was scared of Kennedy or the white man. It wasn't about that. You understand? But Malcolm X couldn't see it. He was thinking about the nation for the future, making things comfortable so our people could advance into the future. But Malcolm X couldn't see that because he was caught in the present. He was emotional. You understand? He just had to say something because he wants to entangle himself with the damn white man. He wanted to entangle himself. He just wanted to be political. He wanted to have something to say. When that was none of our business. That was none of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad understood that was none of our business. Yeah, he was our president, whatever. You understand? We going on about our business. You understand that? That's what a God do. He don't get entangled in human affairs. You understand? That's what Malcolm X wanted to do. A lot of you Negroes love Malcolm X so much because he went against the nation. A lot of you niggas loved Malcolm X and hated the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But Malcolm X went against the nation. He went against the intelligence of this great man. He worried about, how many women he had, who he slept with, all kind of stupidity. Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't no religious figure. He was a god. He wasn't no goddamn priest or anything. He was a god. What did it say about God in the Bible? God came and God came and the sons of God came and took all the women they wanted, as many as they wanted. God do that. It's no different than the damn white man when he got a harem, or the Arab, they got harems of women. You understand? And powerful men have harems of women. So what? That's what God do. A lot of you niggas was just jealous. You understand? You was jealous and you hated on him because he was being a god. Of course God going to have women. Plenty of them. Much as he want. You understand that? That was between him and the women. But like I said, you got a lot of mealy-mouthed Negroes who had a problem with that. Even niggas today would still sit up there and lie about it. Like you ashamed. Why? Because the damn white man, his Puritan BS, you Negroes got raised up and you still under that mindset, oh, well, sex is wrong and you ain't supposed to be with, you supposed to have your woman, one woman, and that's that. What the hell are you niggas talking about? What are you talking about? If the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a Muslim and according to Islamic law, you could have more than one woman, or even according to the Bible, then what did he do that was wrong? You understand? He told y'all not to do it because y'all couldn't afford it. But, like I said, that's the way of a thinker. He carried himself, governed himself by a whole different way of thinking because he was a god. He was the first Brightman. He wasn't like y'all. He was raised. That's why he was who he was. He was raised. You had God with you. You had the first bright man with you, the one who was the solar intelligent one. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about the sun, the moon, and the star. You understand? He talked about the sun a lot. Used the sun a lot in the images. Because he obviously, maybe on the primitive level, he understood solar intelligence. What I'm describing now, he understood on a primitive level. And that's not to say that he was ignorant or stupid or no. I'm saying that you understand certain things as you go along and you're advancing in your thought. He understood future intelligence and higher knowledge and advanced thinking. He was talking about Yaqub and science and things like that. Far passed it along, but like I said, it's passed on information. Passed on intelligence. What sticks in the minds of the people is the common sense, the logic. You understand? It made sense. What he was doing made sense. Bringing our people together, cleaning our people up, it made sense. It made a impression. An impression it made such a damn impression for 40 years. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad put it down hard for 40 years that you got a lot of substitute teachers who could come in and form 5 and 6 different nations of Islam and still eat off his words. You understand? That's how hard he put it down. That's how hard he put down the intelligence. He did well. Like I said, if you can inspire a 5-year-old to stare at you, like me, like I said, that the whole point of that is to bring about a kid like me to look up, to carry on with the evolution of our people. That's the whole point of that. His whole point was to inspire the next one to come. But like I said, and I acknowledge that the next one that came was Dr. Malachi Z. York. But to a lot of personality-driven Negroes who only saw the box of the religion and whatnot, they didn't see that. They didn't hear him say that, one sun setting is one sun rising. When he asked who his successor was, he's like, I can't choose no successor because I ain't choose myself. He said that he didn't choose himself. You understand? He didn't choose himself. Far didn't choose himself. Messages were generated to these people to do a job, inspiration. It's like you wake up one morning, and if you're chosen, a light will click on in your head to start doing a job. That's how it works. And that light that clicks on, that intelligence is being sent from the future, because in the future you have accomplished that job. So it is for you to start at a certain point, start doing that job. It was destined for Elijah Muhammad to do that job. It was destined for Fard to carry that message to him. It's necessary because even though these men have been going for years in the physical realm, they've been gone, but it's important to understand the contribution. You understand? To understand that the evolution of our people continues. It won't be found in Islam. You understand? Because that was the biggest problem with the Arabs. They had a problem with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he wasn't teaching that old-ass Islam from 1,400 years ago. They had a problem with that because he was teaching future intelligence. He was just calling it Islam. He was teaching Islam, taking our people through that and going futuristic with it. He's like, I'm the Elijah of the Bible. He said, I'm that person. I'm doing this, that, and the third. And he was doing it. He was raising up the God race, the mental beings. You understand? And it continues. You understand? Somebody else going to pick the baton up and keep it moving. But like I said, it won't be a person of his own nation. It will be a whole nother nation that comes, or another society, or another state. That's real. It would have to be a man who had to go through starting up things all over again. It won't be the same person repeating what he did. It'd have to be somebody that's taking it on a higher level. It won't be a same person repeating exactly what he did verbatim or the same structure. It won't be the same anymore. You understand? One sun going down and another sun rising. That's the analogy he gave. Those are two different suns. Two different structures, two different states, two different types of people. But the message will carry as a message of evolution for the so-called black race, to bring them on a higher intelligent level. You understand that? But like I said, certain people don't get it. But it's okay. It's not for everybody to get. It's not for people, everybody to have an understanding about, or an ultra-standing, as we say in the state of Mentel. But he did his job. He influenced people like Dr. Malachi Z. York and myself. He did his job. I'm going to do one on Dr. Malachi Z. York. I'm paying homage to all my mentors. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He's my mentor. You understand? Dr. Malachi Z. York, he's my mentor. I look up to these men. You understand? And I'm going to look eye to eye with these men as far as being in that level and seeing what they're doing, or the message that they carry. It's like that movie, what's that movie, Fallen, where the guy touches the other person, and that energy or that intelligence goes into that person, that spirit they call spirit. Now, we don't do spirit. That knowledge, that intelligence, that essence went into that person, and next thing you know, that person was carrying the message. They touched that person's carrying the message. So it's the same thing. It'll be a totally different nation, a whole new state. Now, the people that are still in the old ones that are following behind it, that's where you're supposed to be. That's where your level of intelligence, I mean, you all benefit in some sense because that's where your level of intelligence stops. That's it. But for the people who are advancing in this new millennium, beyond that, you can't stop that. We've seen the value in this great man. That's what the whole paying the homage is to him. You know? He stayed. Carried a message that was beyond the Islam and the understanding. But a lot of his people, they thought that it should be, the message he's teaching, it should be more along the lines of the Orthodox Islam. Elijah Muhammad knew what he was doing. He's like, no, I ain't teaching what you guys teaching. I'm teaching something else to my people. Not interested in the Prophet Muhammad thing and all that other stuff. That's, the whole thing, that whole thing of calling it Islam, the whole thing was to move our people out of Christianity. Give them something a little better. Give it a different title. You understand? To wake our people up. To advance them in their way of thinking. That was the whole point of it. When, he wasn't setting up no religious organization. He was setting up a government, a nation. The ministers were actually administrators, not ministers like some goddamn religious thing. They were administrators, as in an administration. You understand that? Gods produce governments, governmental forces. You understand that? That's what gods produce. This man was producing a governmental force. Can you feel that? You can't, like I said, you can't teach nobody how to do that. You can't teach, like I said, you're talking about the message that Elijah got from far. You can't teach anybody how to run anything. There has to be intelligence there. You can't teach anybody, because you could get the stupidest person. If somebody's not intelligent and you give them instructions on how to do something, and it doesn't resonate, and there's nothing there for them to carry it beyond it and think on their own, then it's not going to work. You understand? It's not going to work. You can't pass messages along to a stupid person and expect it, what you told them to do, to be carried out. And that's not what happened. What Fard did was he set the structure and set the stand up. You understand? He said, this would be like this, this would be like this, should be like this, and that was it. But it's like passing the ball and he ran. He passed him the ball and he ran with it. Hell, Fard himself said he wasn't God. He said it. Now, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad thought, that was a whole thing. That was between him and this man. He thought he looked at him as a God. Fard said, I'm not God. He said, you call me the Mahdi, you call me, according to the story, he said he never called himself God. He never did that. He didn't claim that title. So that goes to tell you, that shows you something. That a man as humble as that, or was trying to, take a lot of focus off himself and put it elsewhere, instead of carrying the weight. Maybe he didn't get it. I'm used to it. But I remember seeing an old speech of his where he talked about how Fard was making him into him. I forget what the speech was. I used to watch a lot of it. I watched over the year. I watched a lot of his old speeches. In other words, he was saying Fard was transforming him into himself, into a god. You understand? Making him supreme. If you teach that the black man is God, then you shouldn't have a problem with this message. But the people that will have a problem with it obviously don't believe that. You got the want and the desire to worship the image of a white man. And I'm gonna say something right now. What I'm teaching, what I'm saying right now, and acknowledging the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is God, and and not saying Fard was the message. It ain't got nothing to do with race. I don't hate the white man. It's not about you hate because Fard don't look like a black man. You hate no. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. If Fard actually stayed and did the job and was running the nation of Islam, then that would have been different. But he didn't do that. He came, dropped a message, and left. I'm going based on the description. I'm not going based on his race or his color or his hair tech. I'm not going on that. I'm going based on what he actually did. You guys say you did with actual facts. So the actual fact is Fard came, left a message, the black man was gone, and he was it. That was it. He was out of here. Elijah stayed. You understand? He was dropping knowledge based on universal knowledge. That like I said, that universal symbol that he put on his head, that crown, was dealing with universal knowledge, higher knowledge, advanced knowledge, light knowledge. That for what it is they could stand at that time. For what it is that they could stand at that time. It was the knowledge of that time. You understand? Then somebody else came up after that sunset. Someone else came. A lot of people, like I said, who were personality driven, or who were caught up in the image of Elijah Muhammad and the whole thing, they didn't want to accept the next man. They didn't want to accept Dr. Malachi York. A lot of people was hating on him and is happy that he went to jail. Unfortunately, that's sad. You know, a lot of people was glad he went to jail. That's a nigga mentality, that you could be happy to see another black man go to jail, so-called black man go to jail. That's a nigga mentality. You no different than the damn white man. If you could sit up here and be happy that a black man got locked in a cage for trying to teach his people for 40 years. And he did, and that he did. He made an impression too. Great impression. I'm going to do a broadcast on him as well, because I'm paying homage to my mentors, as I said. You know? People want to say, yeah, brother, but, the knowledge that he got, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got was from Noble Drew Ali, and he followed his proof that he followed Noble Drew Ali, and he wasn't on the list, and you had a lot of greater people who was dropping out. Yeah, whatever. I just said that what made him different, what set him apart, wasn't, like I said, you could hear a million stories about some big head scientists and, all this stuff. That don't matter. It's what you're doing for the people into the future to get them to a higher level of intelligence. You understand? That these stories are just utilized as tools to move the people to a higher level of intelligence. It's not about the goddamn stories or the doctrine. It's not about that. Because if it was, Noble Drew Ali would have did the same thing. But obviously Noble Drew Ali was meant to die. Somebody decided that Noble Drew Ali was going to die. The God race decided that he wasn't the one to carry the message into the future. He wasn't. Same God race that decided that Malcolm X would die in 1965. You understand that? Fard didn't control that. Same God race decided that Fard would take a powder and leave. You understand? After he did his job, he did his bit, he was gone. That's it. The end. Goodbye. That's it. That is based on a higher authority. That's based on a higher authority. It's beyond these people that you Negroes are personality driven by. Fard didn't make Malcolm X die. Fard didn't make Noble Drew Ali die. Fard didn't have nothing to do with his self-disappearing. You understand? It was dictated to them in their way of thinking. It was dictated to them before they even hit the planet that this person would play a part. You people are all part. These people were all part of a grand design and scheme that was set in place before they even got here. But you Negroes who have small vision, you Negroes who your vision is about as big as a damn nickel. You can't see the bigger picture, that everything is happening by a grand design. Someone's dictating this. You understand? But you Negroes say, I can't see it, so if I can't see it, then that's a bunch of BS, brother, because I can't see it. Nigga, you can't see air, but you breathing it. You understand? A lot of things you can't see, but you feeling the effects of it. You seeing these people come on, do they little bit, and do they bit in the evolution of our people, and that's it. The end. You understand that? Fard was not meant to be here beyond 1934 and dealing with our people. Noble Drew Ali wasn't meant to be here past, I believe, 1928 when he passed away. That was his time. Whatever he put in, that was his time. He was a forerunner. You understand? Everything is by a grand design. Everything. You got nothing to do with it. Fard, nobody, no man has anything to do with it. These men are manipulated. They're given a message that's generated in their head. It's all about the evolution of our people, the so-called black race, into becoming that God race, the next generation. That's what that's about. It's not about some men, because you niggas don't get it. You personality driven. You in love with men. But you're not in love with the evolution of our people. I always look at the bigger picture. I see it. I see it. I see the bigger picture. It's not about me. It's not about Dr. York. It's not about Elijah Muhammad. It was always about the children. It was always about the babies. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad made sure he put that thing up, educating the babies. University of Islam, grade 1 to 12. Yeah, like I said, Fard carried that message to do that. But he was carrying a message. It wasn't him. You understand? In the person, a vessel, carrying a message of higher intelligence for the evolution of our people, not him. You understand? Take your head out of the image of the Caucasian's ass, please. Please stop it. How you gonna sit up here and teach that the black man's God to your children, and you still putting up those images? Y'all can do what you want to do. That's fine. But we putting up a black image. I put up an image of Elijah Muhammad. I'll put up an image of myself, Dr. York. I'll put images up like that. That's what they need to see. You understand? Themselves. They don't need to see the image of somebody that don't look like themselves. And they need to hear the true story. Not your story, the true story, that this is about the evolution. That God stayed for 40 years. That number is symbolic. 40. You understand? It was the number of your so-called prophets when they, according to the Bible, when they got their mission in life. Abraham was 40 according to the story. Muhammad was 40. Elijah stayed 40 years. He was in charge for about 40 years. You understand? So that is important. That 40 is important. Represents a fourth dimension, a greater intelligence, a higher intelligence coming through. You understand? I got greater clarity when I turned 40. You understand? I received greater clarity when I turned 40 because I looked at the bigger picture. I wanted to see things change. A lot of you Negroes don't want things to change. A lot of you, his followers, y'all don't want nothing to change. You want to still same teaching, same doctrine, same way of thinking. You Negroes that say you follow him with students of him or that you hold him up, you want him to remain the same way in your mind because you caught up. Because you don't want to really advance nothing. You don't want to see an advancement to the evolution of our people. You really don't think that the black man is God. You really don't think that. I'm up here pumping my fist saying, yeah, the black man is God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was God. You had God with you. You understand that? But no, you wanted to put up the image of a white man or someone who looks like a white man. You wanted to do that instead. People got mad at me for saying that. Get pissed off at me. You had these simple-minded Negroes in the conscious community talking, oh, well, brother, how you putting up Elijah Muhammad? He was pushing religion, and he was caught up with the white man and the KKK and the more, and he was talking to the KKK, and he was under this dealing with the white man in secret and all this BS you niggas talking about. I'm going to say something to you guys. You thought, oh, Elijah Muhammad was actually a Mason, and you think you bringing out he was a Shriner. Yeah, he was. So what? So? What you think you was going? You niggas thought you scored some points by saying that? You already know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. Because there was so many of you, I'm not even gonna go name your names when you did these little conscious gatherings where you were getting at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm like, how sad is that? How sad is that? You niggas talk about, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was in cahoots with the white man. Yeah, so what? You niggas in cahoots with the white man every day since you was born. What the hell you niggas talking about? Every time you niggas go to work, get some money in your hand, spending money, whatever you doing, living in the system, paying taxes, you in cahoots with the damn white man. So what the hell you niggas talking about? Oh, Elijah was doing. What was he doing? So what? He got some money. So what? So what? He sat up here and built schools for his people. He cleaned up his people. But you niggas always got to find something negative. Oh, yeah, well, he was in league with the Illuminati and the Freemasons. So what? You niggas all got Social Security numbers. You living in society. You in league with them too. On some level, you just mad that you weren't in league with them on a lower level and he was with them on a higher level. You understand? He took that money, whatever he got, he was going putting it back into the nation. Because it wasn't about these white men. It wasn't about the white man being. That was about the babies in the future, building schools for them, educating them. That's what he thought about, the future. It wasn't like you emotional niggas who, you're trying to find a conspiracy behind everything. It wasn't about that. He wasn't sitting up here getting all emotional like Malcolm X. Well, how can we do a deal with the Ku Klux Klan? Look, nigga, he's trying to make sure we got farmland. That's what he was focused on. He was focused on. All them people that died was hung on trees. They dead. Ain't nothing that could be done about that. Thinking about the babies in the future. And that's what always gets in the way when you're trying to get, when a message is coming, and people got a problem with that. Because, like I said, a lot of you historians, a lot of you, these niggas that's historians, a lot of these people you stick up for, and these people that you like Garvey better than this person. Like I said, Garvey was a great man. Nobles Riley was a great man. They worked as forerunners toward the evolution of our people. They served in some sort of purpose. But the thing is, they were focused in the past and the present, not the future. They didn't see the bigger picture. You understand that? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. There's a reason he was chosen. There's a reason why he has a greater intelligence more than a lot of your so-called scholars. Because, like I said, a lot of you Negroes think that an educated people equals intelligent people, and it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm going to say it again. It doesn't equal intelligent people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not an educated man, but he was a very intelligent man. Very intelligent. You had to be to run something like that for 40 years. You understand? To get that job. To be chosen even before birth. That's why I refer to him as the bright man. Ain't got nothing to do with for you simple-minded Negroes out there thinking, oh, you talking about he light-skinned. No, nigga, ain't got nothing to do with him being light-skinned. Intelligence, solar intelligence, advanced intelligence, future knowledge. That which drives me today. Same thing. Same thing that's going through my veins, the blood that's going through my veins, same future way of thinking that's in my head now. I've been infected in a good way. You understand that? It traveled through him, through Dr. Malachi Zio, through me. It continues. It's a line. It's a line of evolution. You understand that? But it's always, like I said, you simple-minded Negroes who don't understand that. Oh, why are you talking about what are you talking about, man? That's not what we teach. No, nigga, ain't what you teach. Ain't because you don't even understand the man that came amongst you. You niggas don't even understand that. You don't understand him. You understand? You didn't understand what he was trying to tell you or what he was saying to you. A lot of y'all don't get it. You couldn't even understand the fez he put on his head. Y'all couldn't even get that. More sitting up here talking, oh, see, he was wearing the star on the crescent. He got that from, yeah. Did you see how he advanced from that? They were stepping stones to something greater. You even see the man today, his image still conducts a form of electricity and a form of reverence when you look at this man even today, still. And he's been going physically on the physical realm over what, 30, 40, over 35 years? You understand? And his image still carries a era of fascination. You understand that? Still does to this day. Greater intelligence. He opened the door. He opened the door because he was chosen to open the door. The first bright man, the intelligent one. Think. Try thinking, because that's what he tried to get our people to do. You understand that? He came, he brought that, he carried that message, and he gone. And it went on to the next person. Dr. Malachi York carried it. And someone will carry it after him. But like I said, even that's another story with a lot of his people. They personality driven. It's supposed to continue. So that we don't get hung up on people. You understand? We don't get hung up on people. You know, we don't get hung up on nonsense. We'll be right back. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was able to accomplish more in his time than all of these educated niggas put together. All of these famous niggas. He was able to accomplish more. Hell, his influence, his impression was so strong that it gave birth to Martin Luther King Jr. What do I mean by that? Why do you think Martin Luther King even got a platform? Martin Luther King was set up on a platform by the white man to combat the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'll prove it to you. See, because at that time, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was telling our people, do for self, the white man's the devil, stop looking for him to do whatever. And he was bold with it. Didn't give a damn. He was just like, So, what did the white man do? He said, well, I got to combat this message by producing another black leader and giving the Negroes crumbs and promising them a better world, a future, a better tomorrow. If I produce a Negro like that and give him a platform and tell the niggas to just take it easy, through time, and through integration, we'll be able to get together and we'll give you what you want. You in time, you just got to work toward it. Keep hope alive. This is the message that they used to combat the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's message, which was separation, total separation, complete separation. You understand? This was the message. The integration. So they had the separation. So they had to produce an integration message to get you all up under, on board with them. See, because black people started figuring out that, look, we ain't got no place here in the society. We might as well go ahead and do things on our own. And they didn't want you thinking like that in this society. They didn't want our people thinking on that level of doing things for ourselves, because that's when the God comes out. That's when the supreme being comes out, when you no longer giving a damn what they think or worshiping their gods or putting their images up. When you don't care no more, that's an evolution taking place, and they didn't want to see that. So they had to produce Martin Luther King, and with that integration message, and we all together, and we all, like I said, and even though the reality was our people was getting murdered, killed, all this stuff, beat up, holes sprayed on them and whatnot, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't participate in that nonsense. He was smart, kept our people out of that, but Malcolm X wanted to be part of that nonsense. He wanted to get involved in the civil rights movement. That's that Sambo Coon mentality where you niggas want to be, just got to be a part of it, you just got to go begging the damn white man. Got to. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad tried to get us standing up on our feet. And if he used money from the white man, so what? You understand? It wasn't about what he did to take their money and whatever he did to. If it was about the future of what was being seen by the children, the ones who were growing up. You understand? He was interested in progressing for our people. That's why he was able to accomplish so much. Business-wise, you even had simple-minded niggas. You guys do a blog talk show. Call this the Black Authority. He tried to crap on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I had to call this nigga one time, and I was like, why are you doing that, man? Why are you sitting up here passing off a bunch of nonsense on the messenger, trying to slander his name and pushing Malcolm X up in his place? You understand? Malcolm X didn't do nothing for our people. All he did was make speeches. That's it. The end. Now, I know a lot of you Negroes in the so-called conscious thing, I have a problem with that, but it's still true. So what? Oh, well, it's the truth. You get mad. It's the truth. Malcolm X did nothing for our people but make speeches and cause division. And ran to the damn white man and tried to slander Elijah Muhammad about his personal life. You understand that? And a lot of you Negroes, that tells the mentality of a lot of our people, that a lot of our people got this individual turncoat mentality, because really why a lot of people didn't like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is because he advocated a strict code of discipline amongst our people, and we know the nigga don't like discipline. You understand? The niggas don't like it, so they hate. Of course, they're gonna hate Elijah Muhammad. You understand? The niggas don't like discipline. That's why they loved Malcolm X, and when he rose up against Elijah Muhammad and disobeyed his orders as a soldier, they loved that. You understand? The Panthers, all of them, they dug that. That's why they put Malcolm X up as their icon, because them niggas, all they wanted to do was sleep with white women back then. That's what they was about. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, don't do that. You understand? That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was hated on, because he tried to set the bar and tried to set the standard for our people, tell them not to do the things they were doing. You understand that? That's the truth. That's why these niggas hate on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They love Malcolm X. They loved anybody that would throw stones at the throne. That's really throwing stones at the throne. You understand? Somebody because these same niggas that talk this nonsense about taking down the system and they hate the white man, they'd be the same niggas. Let's just say tomorrow black people was in charge and built a system. These same niggas conscious niggas, educated niggas, these same niggas would try to take down the black take down the black system we put up. They'd find a problem with it because they're just negative people by nature. You understand? They're just negative people who are not about discipline. They want to be disorganized and just have everything all over the place. Or they just want to really just serve, they master the damn white man. They want to serve him. They can see him in charge and being a leader, being the president of all people, but they can't see a black man. They didn't want to see that happen with Elijah Muhammad or being in charge. That's why they slander him. You understand? Calling Elijah Muhammad a pimp and all this other stuff. He ain't did nothing but any of these niggas would have did in his place if you had all these beautiful women who wanted to be with you. You understand that? He ain't did nothing wrong. That was his position. That was between them. You understand that? But you're going to have that when you are one who is you traveling that road. The only Elijah Muhammad even said, you traveling that road, you're going when you're trying to do something for your people and you really trying to do something for your people, you're going to have a lot of haters. It ain't just a damn white man. Hell, it was a lot of white men, people that was like, they was on board. They were like, yeah, we like what Elijah Muhammad is doing. You had some people who were sincere like that. You had black devils. You understand? You know Elijah Muhammad didn't say it at the time, but you had black devils. You understand? Even amongst him, they didn't want to see that. And even to this day, even doing this broadcast here, niggas was hating. Niggas don't even know, barely know anything about Elijah Muhammad. Here it is, I'm paying homage to the man. These niggas hating. They got a problem with it because I'm not in the nation. You understand? Who am I to say anything about Elijah Muhammad, or I'm not a 5%? Who am I to say anything about Elijah Muhammad? You understand? Ain't nobody telling me I can't say anything about him. I'm paying homage to him. Love that man. Love Dr. Malachi Z. No, I'm not in the Wapian. Love these men. You understand? I continue on, and I continue the line of evolution where they left off, or like I said, the present, future. It's always got to be a next generation. You understand? Teaching my people. We're not interested in this nonsense that's going on here. It's about a continuous evolution. Somebody got to do it, because majority of you niggas, y'all caught in the past, or you caught in the present. You're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about that. You're not thinking about the evolution of our people. You're not about that. You're interested in what you can get now, how much money you niggas can make now. You understand? That's all you interested in. How many pairs of sneakers you niggas could buy, Yankee baseball caps, whatever you niggas into, or how many cars you could buy, whatever nonsense. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having money. Messenger was a millionaire. He had money. Sure, there wasn't nothing wrong with that. But he never put that over the evolution of our people. See, because we can have money, we can do well in society and do good in life and live a nice life and whatnot. But like I said, if you are an evolutionary thinker, you understand? If you see in the big picture, if we working together and cooperating, that's the hardest thing to get Negroes to do, to cooperate. A lot of niggas didn't like seeing Elijah Muhammad have the power that he had. They didn't like that. You understand? They didn't like the fact that he wasn't talking about black, red, and green, and that he was using red, white, and blue. Oh, what you trying to do, align yourself with America, Nigga, we live in America. What are you talking about? You niggas don't live in Africa. You live in America. You understand? And furthermore, that color's blue and the red and all that, that was Egyptian colors. That was ancient Nubian colors. I explained that to you before. That was ancient Nubian colors. The Masons just carried it up and took that into America. You understand? Those was our colors. The red, white, blue, and the yellow, which you see on the fringes of the flag. That was our colors. Not no goddamn red, black, and green that you niggas made up. Some Pan-African nonsense. You understand? You look at our flag, the State of Mentel flag, universal flag, that we putting up new flag. You understand that? The evolution is continuing. You understand? And it's going beyond Islam. It went beyond Islam. It's going beyond what the messages that these men came, because the message is always evolving. It's about the message and the babies and the children. That's what you don't forget. You guys who want to get stuck off in those little places, in those little areas, that's on y'all. You want to sit up here and keep sharing names with the goddamn Arabs and calling yourself after them, that's on y'all. Elijah Muhammad and them did that for that time being, but like I said, he was a future thinker. He was a future thinker. But like I said, when you're trying to get people to thinking as a future, like I said, when people are stuck on personalities, they personality driven, and they stuck on the past, hell, it's like pulling a damn mule. It's like pulling a mule. You want to stay praying to the east and praying with the Arabs and thinking they're your brothers when they not. You understand? Talking about some lessons that don't matter no more. You understand? You're not thinking about the future of your people. That's what should be on your mind, first and foremost. You understand that? If you're going to be God, then goddamn it, be God for real. Stop this BS about, oh, I'm God, but you're not doing nothing. You understand? And you niggas you was hating on Elijah Muhammad because he was. He was man enough to stand up and do something. That's why a lot of these so-called black, even them black historians, them niggas back in the 60s and the 50s, them so-called black historians and everybody was black. Because I'm going to tell you something else. A lot of these niggas that hate on Elijah Muhammad, a lot of these niggas was in the Nation of Islam at one time. A lot of these niggas came through. A lot of your Israelites and all these niggas, they calling the white man, a lot of you Ben Amy, all you niggas, I ain't want to name you niggas, and the Israelites, the Christian, all you niggas, you was in the Nation of Islam at one time. You understand? You niggas that went off into other Muslim sects, you followed the messenger at one time. Then all of a sudden, you niggas got tomed out, and you wanted to follow the Arab way. You understand? They're gonna tell you how to worship some god, some unseen god. They're gonna tell you. You understand? You niggas got cooned out and decided to accept their message and call them your brothers. You understand? The same your brothers that's selling you cigarettes and blunts in the damn ghetto. Yo Muslim brothers. The hell out of here with that. This was the black nation. You understand that? The black nation. You know? And our people are everywhere. And this message is continuing. This message of evolution is continuing. It is now taking on the name of mentellect. It's continuing for the elect of our people. Like I said, for you people that don't get it, then don't listen. Please don't listen. Have a nice day. Don't listen. Don't listen. I'm not here to teach. I'm not teaching with Elijah Muhammad taught. I'm not here to teach with Dr. York taught. I'm going further because that time dictates that right now. The evolution that's taking place. Those of you not in tune, have a nice day, man. If you ain't about the future, like I said, my favorite catch line. If you ain't about the future, then have a nice day, man. Have a nice day. Don't talk to me. I mean, don't talk to me. Don't listen to my broadcast. This is only for future thinkers. This is for future intelligence. Now, I'd say the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would enjoy this broadcast. That's how much of a future thinker he is. He'd sit up here and enjoy this broadcast and get a kick out of it. Because I used to watch his stuff even today and hear him going hard on you niggas and you educated niggas. You know what I mean? You conscious niggas. He go hard on you niggas. You understand? And didn't give a damn who he offended because he was telling the truth. You niggas ain't did nothing for your people, but you want to hate on him for doing for his people. You understand? And you had a lot of you niggas had resources, you had money, and you so-called got educated. You went to the white man's school, and you niggas ain't did nothing. Nothing. Even to this day, you niggas ain't did nothing. You understand that? But like I said, educated people and conscious people dislike intelligent people. You know why? Because intelligence is few and far in between. That's chosen intelligence. I said the word intelligence or intellect means inner chosen communication. That's only for an elect or special people. Elijah Muhammad was one of those people. And the majority of our people, so-called black people, are not those houses of knowledge. They are not those houses of intel. That's why they have to go to the white man and they have to get educated. You understand? In other words, they have to receive his training. Same way they got his training back in slavery on how to think and what to do and stuff like that. Because like I said, if you take our people outside the so-called educated box, the conscious box, and ask them to think on their own, I've seen them. They lost. They're lost. When I posted this up in the groups and whatnot, people was like, when I said this thing about Elijah Muhammad being the God in person and far being the messenger, niggas was lost. They was stuck on stupid. You understand? They didn't try to think about what I meant. And I broke it down why I said that, and niggas didn't respond because I guess it made too much sense. You understand? It made too much sense. That's why they didn't respond. It didn't sound like no doctrine. It didn't sound like no some belief. It was based in intelligence, common sense. The first foundation of intelligence, which is common sense, and which is the continuous foundation of intelligence, common sense. common knowledge, things that's supposed to make sense, that's supposed to resonate in your mind as factual, as that which reasonably makes sense. It has to sum up to something. If it don't sum up to nothing, then it don't mean a damn thing. Somebody got to carry the message, continue carrying the message into the future. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to carry the flag, the new flag. Somebody got to continue, because it's not about these men. As I said, it's about the evolution of our people. One sun is setting, one is rising. You understand? Different suns, not different, not the same groups, not the same states, not the same nations. Different groups coming up, different people coming up. That's the evolution. Like I said, for you people that's personality driven, because you want to be the one, you want to make money, you want to, like I said, the hell with y'all, man. Y'all not sincere. Y'all not about raising the guard race. You're not about the evolution of our people. You're not about it. You understand? You're not about it. You guys are personality driven. You understand? You're just believers. You're not thinkers. In the state of mental, we raising thinkers, not believers. Join us, because we're coming toward the end. I want to say this before I got time. The state of mental, if you're in the New York City area or around the New York City area, on Sunday, the 24th, the State of Mental Supermen, Superwomen Project is going on at the Bed-Stuy Restoration Plaza at 3 p.m. Supermen, Superwomen Project is going on. You go to the State of Mental's, the State of Mental Supermen, Superwomen Project page, and hit me up on Facebook. I'm there. I'll be there talking. I'll be there, giving future intelligence to my people, sharing in the future knowledge with my people. You know, come with questions. Come with things. Don't come with ignorance. Come with, if you're not showing up and showing your intelligence, then don't come. Don't, like I said, sometimes I know that our people will, because they don't have anything intelligent to say, instead of just remaining silent, a lot of our people just say ignorant things just for the hell of it. They'll just be ignorant and they'll be negative because they don't have anything intelligent to say. Believe me, I've experienced a lot of that on Facebook and in promoting these broadcasts. You understand? If you don't understand it, you're going to be ignorant. And you're going to go, what he talking about? It ain't well. We ain't. That's not what we taught. That's not what we was taught. You understand? Everything is not going to be taught to you. Some things require you to think. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said again, like I said, that sealed it for me when he said that the black man is mentally dead. Thank you, sister. The sister, Natural Black Lady, she put it up there. Go to Facebook, State of Mental Supermen, Superwomen Project, taking place. I'll be there talking, this Sunday, June 24th. We're going to be doing the project every month because we're about raising the intelligence of our people, bringing about the evolution of our people. This is what it's about, raising the next generation, the bright race, out of the black race, the guard race, the real evolutionary raise of our people. This has to continue. The intelligence has to continue. And there's a lot of substitute teachers out here who are not interested in continuing the intelligence of these men who came prior. They just want to make money. They want to be famous. You understand? That's their only interest right there. Money and fame. That's it. It's not about the evolution of the people. It's about I got mine, get yours. The same old nigga mentality ain't changed. Just the names have changed, but the mentality is still the same. The same submental low mentality is still the same. You understand? We're getting away from that. We're moving beyond that within the State of Mental. Go to the SOM.info and read up on the State of Mental. Who we are. We are an intelligence community. We are a future intelligence community. We're not interested in things going on in the society. We're interested in furthering our intelligence, and it's receiving that higher intelligence and that advanced knowledge of intellect, which we are teaching within the State of Mental. Because we said in the State of Mental that this is the true path of, or the true way of life for the intelligent black man, so-called black man and black woman. This is the true way of life for us, mentellect, the knowledge of mentellect. Changing our minds, advancing for the future, because true change will only come when our people start to change their minds. Until our people start to change their minds, until our people start to wake up Until our people start to move forward, there will be no change. You understand? There will be no change. We can't keep going in the old circles with the old knowledge and whatnot. The old knowledge has to be moved beyond that. We have to move beyond the old knowledge and move and receive this higher intelligence that's coming to our people, because it is streaming through this atmosphere. Just as that intelligence came and streamed through the atmosphere to spark Fard Muhammad, to spark the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to spark Dr. Malachi York, it's continuing from the future to the present to move our people toward that way. That's the guide. All right? Join us Monday. I think I'm going to do a broadcast on the knowledge of mentellect. Yeah, that's what I'm going to break down mentellect, the true way of life for the intelligent ones of our people. Since I've been talking about mentellect and whatnot, I'm going to get up here and push it just and talk about it more and more and break it down and find out who it resonates with, because the evolution has to continue. You understand? This is coming through me. This is not my philosophy. I don't have a philosophy. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't have a philosophy. Dr. Malachi York, they didn't have philosophy. This was knowledge coming through them as receivers. The knowledge is continuing. It's going to take hold of that person who is supposed to receive that knowledge, and it's going to be brought through. You understand that? It's not about these people, the substitute teachers who want to make money. It's not about you no more. You understand? It's not about the substitute teachers who are trying to eat off people's message. You know? Feed theyself. So, I felt good. That was a good broadcast. I felt good about this broadcast tonight. Paying homage to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Those of you that didn't understand what I was saying, know that I have nothing but good in my mind. I don't accept a lot of your beliefs and things. I don't accept your beliefs and whatnot. I acknowledge truth when I see it. The reality that this man was receiving higher intelligence toward the evolution of our people. I acknowledge that. You know, that's what it is. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. That's fine. You want to believe in Fard as your God? That's fine. You got to do that. That's fine. I'm not going to get at you for that. That's fine. That's what you want to believe. I acknowledge that Elijah was the God of that time. You know, he was the true and living God based on the description. Simple as that, straight up. Like I said, join us again Monday night at 9, the Mentellect Show. We're going to talk about mentellect. What is the knowledge of mentellect? Is it some made-up philosophy of mine, or is it real higher intelligence coming into the present state from the future? Join us Monday night, and we're going to break it down. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. This has been State of Mental Radio. Good night.